o'clock. And what it is, on the 29th of March, unbeknown to most of us, the Cabinet Member for Education took the decision that because the government now says any school that wants to go independent and become an academy can, and councils have got to help them do it, made the decision to give the school what they've been asking for the best part of 45 years, which is every way up through Tabletop up to the London Road. And there are people here today who I can remember from the 1980s when my predecessor Bill Wilson was defending people who were going to be prosecuted for walking their dogs. Well then, over the last 6 or 7 years, when we had to collect, I think, 4,000 signatures on a petition when the school wanted to put a 7'6" metal fence, 2.25 metres. I checked the plans again this morning before I've taken them in with me. 7'6" high metal fence all the way around. And what they got on the 29th of March to an inch was exactly the same land they wanted in 2004. So we know what's going to happen. If they get it through today, it won't be many weeks before they're ordering the metal to put that fence all the way around the fields. And they'll, as they said in what's called a Memorandum of Understanding at the time, once they've done that, the governors would meet and they would decide when access was granted to local people. And they would start from the premise that the best you would get is before and after school hours and in school holidays. Now, firstly, you can see how much access in daylight you get in winter with them sort of hours and them sort of days. But this is an academy application, and one of the things an academy can do is it can vary the length of the school day. So they could even change the hours and shut people out altogether. So it's important today that we get the councillors on this committee to realise that this is a significant decision. The land was left 70 years ago, partly by gift and partly by the council paying 16 grand to buy it, but a public park for the enjoyment of people, particularly the Charterhouse. 2,000 families in the Charterhouse, most of whom live either in terrace properties or places without much in the way of gardens. That's an important green space for generations of young people, and it's something that should be preserved. It's also the fact that this report here today says once they've made the decision, they'll apply exactly the same decision to every other school in Coventry that notifies it wants to go and be an academy, without coming back for another debate. So we're here fighting today on behalf of green spaces all the way around the city. And I've only just got 2 points to finish with. Firstly, another bit of the report, which we probably won't get much time to pick over the bones of here today, is what's called a credit union application. 18 months ago, Bluecoat borrowed off the balances of all the other schools in the city. I can't tell you how much, but I can tell you, if the press is listening, they might like to put this figure down. It had to be over £100,000 because the report came to a Cabinet Member, and that's the trigger figure for a report coming to a Cabinet Member. So they borrowed over £100,000 and they bought the allotments off the private owner. Now, we don't know who the private owner is, except the allotments, of course, are next to a railway line, so you can choose your own private owner. 8.23 acres, 40,075 square yards. That's 5.5 football pitches. They don't need to take the so-called playing fields. They've just bought the equivalent of 5.5 football pitches. And if they want playing fields for their kids, put them on the land that they bought and leave the fields alone.
They want my gardens for pitching too.
Anyway, the last quick point to make is that we're going in there in 20 minutes time, and I'll do my best to put a case up to do justice to all the work that others have done, getting the crowd here this morning, getting the hundreds signing the petitions, all the work you've done over the years. But there is a plan B. Don't go in there just with one set of ideas. We always have a plan B. Some of you might know that when up in the northeast, round Henley, Woodend, they started knocking down the old council houses, the Whitefriars houses, they were going to build new houses. It's not going quite the way they thought it was going to go, which were smaller, with less gardens and taking up more green space. And what the residents up there did was they invoked a little known bit of law called an application for a village green. And if they could prove that for 20 years people, without asking permission, had enjoyed recreational use of a bit of public land, they could claim in law that it had to stay free and open for public access. Now the last time Howard and was it Mr and Mrs Breakspear that were Brackby, I beg your pardon, that were prosecuted, and Bill Wilson defended them, was 1989. Since then, nobody's been threatened with prosecution for walking over fields that now the council is trying to tell us aren't public fields at all, they're going to be private for a school. That's 22 years ago. So 15 minutes ago, I walked across the road to the senior planning manager for Coventry and handed in on your behalf an application for a Charterhouse village green. With the evidence to show, thank you John for the suggestion, and for the evidence to show that there's been people using that for at least 20 years, but we'd argue it's been 70 years since Colonel Wiley first gave the field. So we've got to go in there, do our best, but we've got two plan Bs. One of them is legal in the planning department, and the other one's in Judy's mind, which is a tent on the field. Anyway, thanks very much for coming, and if 30 or 40 of you at least, I would think, would like to come inside, I'm sure we can squeeze at least that number into the meeting room. Thanks a lot.
Thank you! Save my green! Save the village green! Save the village green! Save our village green!